highest ceiling hero of the tournament, at least. So I think that's a good sign. I think they're in a better position than they were last game, but they gave the Storm to BetBoom one more time, and that is a hero that they have just shown almost no weakness with, right?
Yeah, they also drafted another melee hero matchup for Nothing to Say against the Storm Spirit. I don't think that Earthshaker fares that much better than the Slardar should.
No, but I think even with less, he'll do more versus the Storm. Like, I don't think Slardar does anything to the Storm in those mid-game fights or really in the rune battles or anything like that, where Shaker, you can easily turn those around. Your presence in the fight is very high until Storm commits for a BKB. I think the game matchup's just a lot better, and I think it's a hero that NTS is a lot more comfortable on and can control the game more with, which is really what G2.iG want, right? They want NTS in a position where you can control the fight. That's the big important thing. They don't care about the lane. They just want him to be able to win the team fights when they matter, and I think Shaker's a hero that can definitely do that, along with the Primal Beast for JT.
And having some sort of semblance of control, or even the feel of control, is important after a rough game one where, I mean, their team fight-wise, it didn't feel like they knew what was going on.
No, it was very disjointed. So maybe some of this big team fight will help them a bit. Maybe that's what they went back to. On the flip side, you have another classic Chinese combo, but it's on BetBoom's side. It was this Dawnbreaker Storm. If you remember, this was a combination that came out of China about a year and a half ago. It was something that LGD played a lot with NTS on the Storm back then, Faith Beyond Dawnbreaker. It was a little bit of a throwback. It's kind of interesting to see this combination come through. Very powerful as well. The Storm initiation, you get a deep jump into the back of the fight, throw the Dawn ult on top. Even if you hex the Storm, even if you fissure the Storm, he might not die in that burst, and then that fight's over, right? So I'm also looking towards this combination for BetBoom to have really high impact in the team fights. And of course, if they get to spell debuff immunity on either of these heroes, you have Lifestealer with the innate debuff immunity in the Rage. It could be a lot of spell immunity that G2.iG has troubles interacting with.
What do you think about this matchup right here? Primal Beast versus Lifestealer. We casted, I think, a matchup of this at the tournament at some point in time. It's got to hurt the Lifestealer quite a bit that his Rage can just be countered almost fully by, you know, just being grabbed by the Primal Beast.
It's nice. I mean, you're not taking too much damage, so it can feel bad for the Primal sometimes. I'll also be interested to see if there's a game where Nightfall goes for the BKB on the Lifestealer. We've seen it a couple times. It's not unheard of, right? If you feel like you're strong enough to just fight based off the passives and maybe like 1 or 2 damage items, there's a lot of lockdown and a Terrorblade with a Sunder to deal with. But this Lifestealer matchup is not as bad as it used to be with changes to all this and how much you can get in there with the extra BKB duration. And once more, X-Nova just feeling the pain in this match. Giving away a first blood to Pure. That is a tough first blood to give away, as I think this is the weakest lane for G2.iG in some sense. Like,
yeah,
you give a head start to a Dawnbreaker plus a Morta, they are going to outfight you on that lane. Phoenix Terrorblade, not really known for their super high inner lane synergy.
And they have enough magic damage to threaten Terrorblade if they get ahead. So that is particularly scary when they've already picked up First Blood. And Pure and Save, we saw them, maybe we didn't see the First Blood in action there, but we saw them earlier. They were cooking with their spells. They had a really nice shot from Save that hit both the heroes while they were combining.
I mean, it's just a deadly lane comp. If all the spells land for BetBoom on this off lane, somebody's dead. No way around it. And I'm also looking towards Save for BetBoom. We've seen the calling be why this hero is played on support. This is a very good game for it in the team fights. You throw down these spirits, it's going to mess with the Shaker initiation, it's going to mess with the Primal charging through. You might catch Phoenix off a dive. Very obnoxious spell for G2.iG to commit into on.
Yeah.
So it's a big question, like, can you find Save first at the start of these fights with your 2 big bruisers, take him out? I feel like the fight just becomes way easier if that happens. His positioning is going to be really key for BetBoom in a lot of this mid game. But so far, another kind of quiet early game, as they're going to try top again on Monet.
Managed to slam him there with the Starbreaker. And Monet, while he does live, he doesn't feel that great about it.
And opted for the Bracer as well, so he's just trying to get some extra regen on this lane.
Getting a little stomp here, doing some damage. JT certainly not getting a kill. These 2 tanky boys, Lifestealer and Ogre, are not going to be that easy for this kill lane of Primal Beast and Lion to get any momentum going off of that.
This is a lane where they just want Nightfall to get as much out of as possible, and then Toronto Tokyo is going to go play around the other course, right? Early Bloodlust to help him as much as he can, and then at some point give him the solo XP, maybe make a gate rotation to top. That would probably be ideal for Toronto Tokyo, and I mean, right up his playstyle as well. He loves those kind of moves. He's already going to contest. He's going to chase Baboka for 4-minute water room here. Kind of an interesting play. I don't know if they have kill threat. If he gets body blocks, maybe.
Yeah, slowed him down with the blood grenade. He can get in front, body block him some more. GPK will eventually close that distance to get a nice.
Whose tree was that?
Yeah, was that Baboka's tree? Did he just block himself?
I think he did, man. Baboka's just too good even for himself, man. That's what it looked like. I don't think it was an ogre tree, so.
Well, either way, it was
Nice
GPK
attempt.
gets the last hit on the kill, either way, as expected.
Yeah, I mean, again, Toronto, Tokyo, happy to take these random skirmishes on the map because it's just solo XP for Nightfall.
Yep.
And I don't think JT can really pressure him here one-on-one, so kind of what BetBoom are looking for. And again, they're pulling out ahead a little bit in this early game. What I would probably expect in this matchup, it's just you have to try and keep it even as much as you can if you're G2.iG here. The one big change, though, is I think NTS is having a way better time on mid. Like, he is just winning the lane outright. He is ahead in XP, ahead in CS. He has 6 extra denies on GPK, so putting this totem to use with
Nice
0
pull back
3
in. Gets him underneath the tower. Double enchant totem hit to return,
Oh,
but
they're ganking.
Baboka keeps on trying to make these rotations. It is
Awkward.
spotted by the ward the entire time.
These early moves for our G2.iG have just been desynced. No other way to put it. It's just a little awkward. Baboka isn't finding the right angle. He's not getting the D-ward on the obs, so GBK sees him the whole time as well. Just missing some sentry. Boots will come in, though. Maybe he did not see it or did not expect it.
Managed to get the silence on him, nothing to say. He tries to get off the enchant totem, and he does, but it's not enough damage.
What you wouldn't do for an Echo Slam right there. But
Yeah, seriously.
he's just half a level off, and I think Baboka's dead as well to the tick out.
Ooh. Does manage to hit him with the dead shot, but he'll live through the damage. Meanwhile, meta was used here in the top lane, forced Pure back to the base.
So a minor win on the safe lane for G2.iG, but they are getting out skirmished in mid, and what was a lane that was going pretty well for NTS is not going to push him down pretty heavily, as you don't want to be losing these fights with the Shaker. This is when he can shine versus the Storm. Just be tanky, get the extra totem hits in. They're going to gank him again.
Shot pushing him into the Storm Spirit, fresh from the fountain. A second kill on nothing to say. They are getting way too much out of these lanes now, just like game 1.
That was way too casual. Like,
Yeah.
That's just a gift on a platter. He TP'd out. He's going to be walking from base for 60 seconds. Now he's a full level behind GBK. And again, I look to the rotation from the supports for G2.iG and the warding. Like, they don't have any obs around mid for NTS to play around on those ganks. They haven't dewarded anything from BetBoom here. That's why that play's so easy. They're just sitting on the hill, letting you walk into them, clean it up. So slow start for the Shaker here. Could have been promising, but those 2 deaths really going to push NTS back, and it's going to push more weight onto JT to pick up the slack, as he's still having the best game for G2.iG here. Can he use it? Because you can't really run into the Lifestealer. It's hard to gank the Storm. Your one option is ganking that Dawnbreaker with a meta up. Does JT want to just run up there and do it at this point with how the game's going?
Yeah, it feels like maybe the only move he can make. Otherwise, he's going to get countered by the Dawnbreaker. Goes for a grab on the Lifestealer. It's obviously not a real kill attempt, just something of a poke.
Show him what's up.
Yeah, he's got Soul Ring, so he's got the mana. Cooldown isn't particularly long.
I'm going to rotate the Shaker top while this brawl's happening bottom. I still don't think anybody's dying down here. In fact, it's Monet getting harassed out a lot more. He does not want to retreat to the jungle yet because they're bringing the Shaker top with an Echo. They want to get the fight here.
X-Nova is baiting it a little bit, and Pure now out of position. They're going to Echo Slam and trying to keep him from being able to go over to the other side of that cliff, but he gets it barely.
I'm not even sure he's dying there. Like, they didn't have meta for another 3 seconds, and that's all NTS has. You got to remember, he doesn't have the Fissure build, so.
And they're going to try and intercept. Nothing to say as he makes his way back to mid. Sees the rotation coming, though, and retreats, but it just means he's missing a wave here.
Oh, huge attempt bottom, but
yeah, but the Dawnbreaker's not going to come in. And JT, TP out was good.
that's a very heads-up play. That is a really big play by JT. He dies there. Pure feels great about that ult. They get a lot of space out of it. They were close to bringing Nightfall down as well, but it's going to add up on the map. That's a lot of space for Monet. He gets to farm a lot of waves top. NTS is not getting ganked right now. Did lose that power rune, so Shield Rune went into GPK's bottle here. Pretty nice one if he wants to get aggressive with it. And once more, the Storm is having a pretty free game. We've seen BetBoom, they're just confident to first pick this hero. You're going to give it to him. There's a reason they're going to take it. GPK having another pretty free game on it. And now he has an Infest to back him up. He has a Solar Guardian to back him up. He has a Bloodlust to throw on top. There's a lot more buffs for the Storm to play around than he did last game.
Yeah, he doesn't need to wait for an Aegis this time around to play super aggressive.
He has a lot of EHP in the bank. He can just go in and, you know, bait out a fight on the fact that, oh, the Storm's out of mana, let's try and kill him. Well, he has like an extra 2,000 HP.
And against this many melee heroes too, Dawnbreaker, Lifestealers, Counter Initiations, they will be in a prime spot to punish.
G2.iG looking for these kills so they can get the levels for the support.
Boboka from behind is going to hit the disables. So Pure, slowed down, very tanky, but should eventually die with no TP rotations coming in.
Big pickup. And
meanwhile, mid lane,
looking for the punish.
Primal Beast is going to be able to jump out of Toronto Tokyo, but again, so tanky here, and they actually ignore him. Go for the Earthshaker into the back line. Again, this Earthshaker punished time and time again by GPK plus 2 supports.
This is another 0-3 start for NTS as mid lane has not gone his way in this series. And it's just BetBoom bringing the numbers. Save really debilitating him in the early fights. Again, this calling is going to be a monster for NTS to deal with. Like, he has no answer to it. You're guaranteed to get feared into it. It's almost 6 seconds of silence. Gotta feel bad for the Shaker. It'll be another quick smoke by the BetBoom supports here, continuing their feast on NTS, perhaps.
I mean, are you really going to try and go on a Storm Spirit that has a shielder and like that? Okay, and Echo Slam is well timed to stop the initiation, the chain stun that would have come out from GPK into Pure. But
that is the most defensive Echo you're ever going to see in your life, right?
Yeah.
That is a please don't kill me again Echo Slam. Have my tower, just not my life, as G2.iG bringing 3 heroes to try and defend this. They'll get a deny, and that's it.
That's about as best as you can hope for, I think, for G2.iG.
Just feels like last game, right? The skirmishing is not going G2.iG's way. NTS has had a rough early game, and the only person who's really finding the space is Monet on that safe lane on a hard carry. But all of BetBoom cores are getting enabled here. They're all having a pretty solid game, and they can combine pretty fast on the map to close out the space. So you're facing some of the similar concerns here. Like, what happens when GPK starts getting aggressive with this Infest and Solar Guardian to back him up?
Yeah, when it comes to talking about the play for G2.iG, if their laning phase didn't get any better from game 1, and skirmishing certainly not going better, then they better hope their team fight is up to snuff, because that's really all that's left to stop BetBoom from running them over.
That's what this game's going to come down to, the 5-on-5s. And that's what this draft is designed to do better than that last one, or at least ease the execution. Still looking for their ultimate supports here. They have an egg up, but they're still looking for Finger of Death on Boboka. BetBoom just stacking it up, maybe looking to fight around this 12-minute power rune.
Zips through it to see if he can pick it up, but it's safely at top, guarded by Save, so an haste rune. And G2.iG win, lanes fail. There's really only one backup plan, which is just hit a bunch of neutral creeps. Wait for their next round of items, which is going to be some time considering the fact that Nothing to Say is 1,000 gold off of a Blink Dagger rush.
And he's watching an Ogre farm his mid lane right now, so
yeah,
not a lot of space for him to go around. He is once more getting shoved down to that 3 position as they feel like the other 2 cores just need the farm more. It's got to be like a defensive-oriented fight. Bait the Storm Jump, get a Hex, turn around with everybody there, and force BetBoom in a position where you have to engage into the egg, into the Primal. That could be very successful. At the same time, like we saw last game, I feel like BetBoom are kind of happy farming unless you find
they have enough stuns with JT joining in, and they actually had the Finger of Death as well. So G2.iG finally managed to make a successful move here. It'll get them a tower as well. BetBoom, who are already making the rotation up to top, will trade.
The big pickup. This Lifestealer was starting to feel untouchable, right?
Yeah.
And that's also the first death for Nightfall in this series, so a little morale boost.
It's true. Monet's also getting more active, no longer 0-0-0.
That is also true.
Now 0-0-2. Right. Nothing to say, though. His game is not getting any easier.
It is a rough out here, man. 0-4 start for the Shaker. It's going to be a long road to recovery.
Talked about his comfort on the hero. He's going to need all that experience. know how to be able to bounce back from probably the roughest start that I've seen from a mid-shaker in a long time.
He gets like 1 or 2 core kills, he'll be back. It's just the power room control is really what's hurting him. This mid-tower death, the fact he got ganked, and then he's not getting any runes. It really hurts your ability to come back in these short-term fights. And once more, G2.iG are going to try and prioritize NTS a bit. Look for the runes here. They will secure it.
I mean, at bare minimum, they got to keep it out of the hands of the Storm Spirit.
Yes, I mean, even JT's here, right? Like, they know they got to do something for their shaker. And that'll be a big pickup. Nice little cooldown reduction here. You can get Echo Slam fight going. Maybe NTS can get his Blink Dagger up before this rune expires. That would be ideal. And let Monet push the waves out. Whereas the items starting to come in for BetBoom. You have Kaya done for GPK and full Echo done for Pure. They have a lot more fighting power, especially Nightfall going for this Radiance. The second that's online, you know they're going to amp up the pressure. He's going to infest somebody and you're going to get a fight. Solid Radiance game as well. Nothing wrong with this build. See what he opts to go for after that. I do think the itemization path for Nightfall is pretty open here. Like I said, he could go for the later BKB. He could just go for more fighting items and durability. He could also go for the Ags that we've seen some of these Lifestealers go for. Just hop in the Terrorblade. What do you do about it?
They haven't changed that, right? You could still just TP out.
Yes, you can.
On that Ags.
But people forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, when he hops in the Terrorblade TP's to base. Then you Solar Guardian on top of the Terrorblade in his base.
Sounds like the best way to fountain feed I've heard in my life.
Well, Dota's all about efficiency. May as well be efficient in dying.
6-2, a little bit of a slower game to here. 2,000 net worth lead for BetBoom. As we saw from game 1, they're very confident in their timings. What are the timings here for this game? Is it once again BKBs? BKB Storm, BKB Dawnbreaker, or?
BKBs are going to come out later. I think it's the Radiance for Nightfall, and it's probably whatever GPK feels comfortable fighting around. It looks like he's just going for Kaya Sanj. That's going to increase his survivability a lot. Again, I don't think they have HP problems right now if they get the full 5-on-5. It's just about who jumps who. Right now you have the Blink on NTS, so G2.iG also smoking up, ready to take this fight if they can find the initiation off the Shaker Blink into Baboka's Chain Stun. And they're going to throw Monet on the front line with a meta. This is daring BetBoom to come fight them right now.
And it seems like BetBoom is not going to oblige.
Nope.
They're going to say, okay, you can have that mid-tower. I mean, in this larger map, I think mid-tower is way less valuable.
I mean, once more, BetBoom are just gearing up for the late game. They're going double Midas on their supports here. One for the Ogre, one for the Muerta. This will really pay off over like the next 20 minutes if nothing happens, because these two supports for G2.iG are not going to find nearly as much on the map. I mean, you're also, multicasting this Midas. I want to make sure we get at least that first one.
True. We keep an eye on Toronto, Tokyo.
I'll watch it.
I'll let you guys know when we see the first Midas attempt. It's actually such a massive win if you're like first 2 or 3 multicast usages for the Midas actually work. Gets you to level 12 faster.
The thing is, I don't...
Will he get it?
Oh, that's a big one.
Perfect. And he got on the medium creep too, so maximum experience.
Yeah, this guy's good. There's a reason this guy won TI.
That's true.
It was luck, the ultimate strategy.
You always say it's an important factor in Dota. Though luck doesn't really seem to be coming into it for BetBoom in their continued victories over G2.iG.
I mean, the thing is, I don't think BetBoom have to play this game this slow. I think they could get aggressive with some infest in the Storm Spirit. I think they can up the map pressure. They're just kind of choosing to play it more conservatively. Maybe it's a factor of like they just don't think G2.iG is going to beat him in the later fights. Even if it's a less ideal way to do it, they're going to get jumped.
Straight up Echo. Is it going to be enough? The infest is coming in time. JT goes slams through it. Is the damage enough? It is. They finally managed to finish it up, but the Earthshaker died for that, and JT can't get anybody else off of this. In fact, he's going to be in a little bit of danger here. Have to slow down the damage of save. Baboka's there to help. You could see BetBoom was ready for that. They had the Kaya Sanj complete for the Storm Spirit too, but too much damage, too many disables.
That is a ridiculously close chain stun from the charge out from JT.
Oh, and JT with his invis will find Toronto, Tokyo.
Another nice pickup.
Stepping a little too far forward. He actually had a killing spree.
Yeah, that's a decent chunk of gold. And a lot of this starts with finally G2.iG getting some vision control around that mid lane. Like they're finally able to get the sentries down, de-ward some of that surprise BetBoom. That kind of came out of nowhere. I don't even think we were expecting it. They trade mid laners. That took like 6,000 damage to bring down the Storm.
Yeah.
When you have Solar Guardian plus Infest to throw in there, that is that single target turnaround that BetBoom's capable of that G2.iG are gonna have to think about. And if that onslaught does not come through from JT, that is a terrible go, right? Just straight up. So you really have to think about your single target burst, measure it out correctly, or if NTS can land a fissure on the heroes behind the target they go on, that's a big deal as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Hard to do it on the Lifestealer who can rage early, but I mean, maybe BetBoom fortunate they were grouping up there as well, right? And the fact the Lifestealer was close enough to just get that infest off. They'll find a little bit of an opening, and JT caught out mid. Which is very casual, but I think he's dead.
Sitting on the low ground, he got greedy to finish up his BKB. He did buy it out before he dies. Bottom lane though, or top rather, they have the infest gank. They do have an impale, but the Lifestealer already raged up. He's able to finish the kill. Now they're gonna look for Xnova, who is already making a run for it. Dive it away deeper and deeper onto BetBoom's side of the map. He'll be found eventually though.
So now the aggression's starting to pick up. Even after you get one of those big team fights, BetBoom's lineup's just going to play on the map a lot faster because they don't need their big ults for the damage to burst heroes. Just going to be the Storm plus the Infest, and he will find a regen rune top. GPK living the life right now. Living the dream as the BKB rebuilt off the Echo for Pure, and it'll be BKB next for GPK. So they're once again going to have this triple debuff immunity between their cores. With double Midas running on the supports, this is a scary amount of scale.
It is. Good timing on the Scotty, though, for Monet to be able to combat that. At least it's some semblance of control against these heroes.
And he has to have higher impact in the fights than last game. That is for sure.
Yeah.
As regen rune for GPK is going to force the BKB out of JP. Has no TP.
Yeah, he doesn't have TP, so this is kind of awkward, but BetBoom aren't going to pursue. They say, okay, BKB charge is good enough.
And you're looking for the play on Pure.
They're going to find it, nothing to say. Oh, smoke
tanky.
broke, but seems like they're not confident in going for a Dawnbreaker, 2,400 HP and a BKB.
That's a big kill to miss, though. Because that's the hero you want to find. And when you go on anybody else, the Dawn's coming in. Yeah. You have to take the fight, so if you find the Dawn, you're way happier in that sort of jump. It will be a tier 2 bottom. At least you get something off this move. Not the worst.
And back to Roshan,
Roche
too.
Yeah.
BetBoom.
Here's the big question. Can you force Roshan here?
Yeah, it would be surprising to me that BetBoom would let this go twice.
If I'm G2.iG, I think I'm just forcing it because you're not going to get the team fight you want on the map. This will force BetBoom into you, which is, you know, in theory going to give you a very good egg in Sunray.
Yep.
And it's an Echo Slam area for NTS. This is going to be close. BetBoom know this is happening. They are smoking fast. GPK can jump the pit here. He is infested. Solar Guardian can come down. So everybody for BetBoom can be instantly in the pit if they get there in time.
They're wrapping all the way around here. BetBoom in their caution.
He has to jump.
May miss this opportunity. They're getting a little information. Roshan just about to die, and the Zip is just not going to come in fast enough. He jumps in after the Echo. Now immediately gets slammed up by the Echo Slam. Thunder goes out as well, but the damage isn't coming fast enough. They're struggling to be able to bring down these heroes as the two cores, IG, they're having a little bit of damage problems here. They can't fight through all of this one.
It's all getting split. I mean, who are you focusing here? JT's just out. He says
somehow everybody's going to be able to get out on the side of BetBoom despite all of those spells being thrown around. G2.iG, Babolka got out. Somehow only the Earthshaker dies on G2.iG.
NTS, you are a cursed man apparently, as there's like 20k damage being thrown around in this fight and one hero dies. It just all gets split. I don't even know who Monet sundered here. I feel like he sundered NTS, but it didn't do anything. He might have clicked one of the Lysa or the Dawn, but that was a very early sunder coming out from him. Just did not work out as all. Baboka's on the Storm in the back. JT's fighting the heroes in the pit. Way too split here for G2.iG. They'll lose the Aegis, but get out with everybody else. I mean, it's not the worst situation compared to what could have happened, but BetBoom just showing the raw value of the EHP right now, man. There's way too many health buffs on these heroes for them to burst through any specific target.
Yeah. One of the things that felt a little bit missing there is just, you know, they didn't get a chance for like double Sunray. I think we have the shard on the Phoenix too.
Didn't even feel like it was doing anything on it.
Yeah.
G2.iG just needs some more sustained damage. It's got to come from the Terrorblade and, like you said, the double Sunray. I think those are their best options to bring these heroes down. But the BKBs are coming out. You have the BKB for Pure, you have the Rage for Nightfall. It's just GPKs they're missing. And if you lose another fight here, he's going to have it. And then you're in real trouble.
I mean, if you're confidently able to take that fight inside the Roshan pit, being grouped up like that, you have no problem looking for more pickoffs on the side of G2.iG. So they're going to play on that side of the map, and G2.iG, they're going to have to find some sort of way to keep getting farm for Monet, who wants to finish up a BKB, no longer having that Aegis. Amplified damage rune for Storm Spirit. Some of these heroes, some of these mid heroes are going to take huge advantage out of this change of the double damage rune to be amplified damage, having an impact on the spell lamp as well as their physical damage. Storm's got to be one of the best.
Very happy about that, especially versus Terrorblade.
Yeah.
Getting Magic Amp versus these Agi carries. Can't ask for anything more here. GPK continues his Storm Spirit reign of terror, 3-1-7 for him here. I mean, his combined KDA in the last 4 Storm games must just be absolutely monstrous at this point.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be looking back at this Game 2 draft and going, you know, what are you doing? Giving the Storm Spirit back over to GPK like that.
And the answer, I think, was supposed to be a hero for NTS that dealt with him. Maybe he's better in the lane and in the fights. That was supposed to be the Shaker. He's 0-7. He is struggling, and he had a rough early game, so I'm not faulting him too much. But even in the fights, the way BetBoom designed this draft, okay, they first picked the Storm, but they've made sure the Storm has the help he needs to survive in the fights versus the burst that G2.iG proposed, which was this Lion Shaker. I mean, Lion Shaker's all flat damage. Flat damage is terrible against these save boost HP lineups that can just survive against it, and then all of a sudden you're stuck in like a man fight. Yeah. You're not winning the man fight here. Your only man fight winner is Monet. That's where he has to have a way larger damage impact in these fights than he did last game. It's got to be aggressive items from him. You know, BKB into Butterfly here, pump out the deeps, because when all 6 of these debuff immunity BKBs or rages go off, you have to win that fight.
Coming out of JT, just picked up the shard from the Tormentor. That kill was worth a healthy amount too.
Almost 900 here. Another Infest gank that just feels very easy for BetBoom here.
How is that kill worth so much? They're up by a decent amount in net worth. Oh. Toki already has the Fire Shield out, but they drain him of all of his mana.
That's about all you can do, I think.
Yeah. Okay. G2.iG just back out. Still want to be playing underneath their ward. They go back out now, and they get it. BKB activated though, buying nothing to say.
He's stuck in a corner.
He puts himself in the corner and TP's out. Monet with his Scotty. Oh, nice dead shot though. He was slowing down some of these heroes. Maybe he could have killed Pure if they could have kept on top of him, but the den shot pushing Monet back, and this meta is just really not going to get too much value.
So BKB protects NTS off one of these initiations. Definitely a better outcome for him. They get an Ogre. Meta wearing out. They have half duration left. Want to get something more off of this small team fight win.
And they'll get a Glyph. See if they can keep it up for the full tier 2.
See BetBoom trying to make something happen here. I don't think it's out of the question with the meta running out, but no Solar Guardian, no BKB on Pure is going to dissuade them, as well as GBK being close to his. No reason to take some weird fight where your Storm Spirit's very close to the debuff immunity of his own.
Sure. Elven Tunics, big pickups here as the tier 3 neutral items are going to be dropping. That'll help their effective HP a lot against the Terrorblade, who is not going to have an answer for evasion for a long, long time.
Nope. It's got to be Daedalus for Monet. I mean, he knows he needs to just pump out the damage, especially in the intervals where he can do it, right? Like, if you catch a hero before BKB, you get the stuns off, you need to slice and dice before the saves come in.
Yeah, you can't afford GPK to be jumping in and barely surviving and getting off his BKB afterwards.
And you have to be able to man-fight this life steal at some point. Like, it's inevitable.
Yep.
So I do not envy Monet's position here. He's going to have to play these fights very well, play around his 2 bruisers that can create the front line for him. Just dish out the deeps. Game is still fairly even, though. I mean, BetBoom are eking out small economic advantages. The double Midas for their supports definitely starting to pay off here as they both have a 4-staff. Both
Speaking of that double Midas.
Item.
Money.
Ooh, another multicast. Guy knows how to play Ogre. Still got another charge.
Yeah, you got the triple off of one of them. He is rolling in the dome. He's going to be going for a pipe as well. So continued trend of 5 positions, going pipe when they can.
And he has Fire Shield. This is not a shard we see a lot because we don't see Ogre a lot, but honestly not a bad one this game when you're going up against Shaker and Terrorblade that are dealing really big hits, but may not get a lot of them in.
Yep.
Some extra survivability you have to work through as well, making it even harder here.
Yeah, meanwhile, the Tormentor for G2.iG gave them Rock Throw. You know, I don't think that's quite the same.
A little extra damage, never hurt. But once more, the lead is building for BetBoom because they've just able to split push the map with Pure. Pure's just running down these side lanes. The rest of the 4 are grouped. No real threat to them.
And their map control is going to get worse and worse with a gem on GPK as well.
Yeah, they have very good vision out right now. They have 3 deep obs on G2IG side of the map. They're going to be happy to fight around any of those. You have to be careful right now. You're working your way towards this Terrorblade Daedalus.
Salteras means that Nightfall is going to chew through these towers pretty quickly.
He's a beast, man. Like, he has so much HP right now. 3,000 HP with almost 40 armor, which is just ridiculous with an Elven Tunic on top of it. Like, I don't really know what you do to this guy. I feel like Monet has to sit there and hit him for 20 seconds to make a dent.
Yeah, and that same problem is there for all of their cores almost.
And an Arcane Rune for GPK. This has got to signal a team fight for BetBoom right now. I mean, you infest the Storm here and you get the fighting. He has Shield Rune, Arcane Rune on top of 3,500 HP. This is a god in the world of Dota 2 right now, and he knows it.
Yeah, and he's going to just zip in long, see if he can find whatever pickoffs he can. It's going to be Phoenix first.
This is WTF mode, man.
Everybody out of here as quick as possible because you know GPK is going to be hunting for more. Fortunately, mana is the only thing that limits his aggression.
I feel like that's a good trade for G2IG, honestly. These double rune on GPK could have just steamrolled the fight, man. It's like turbo mode. So I would happily trade a Phoenix for those 2 on cooldown. Farm out the rest of the map, dodge a bullet.
Bounty.
Not going to be farming too much, though. Nightfall immediately swooping in, pushing in that mid lane. There's less and less spots on the map for G2IG to feel comfortable in. BetBoom are just sweeping around their heroes. And they feel confident enough to split them up too.
They went double AC.
Did they?
A second AC for Pure.
Oh, that's...
So I guess he thinks Nightfall's just going to feed, and then he'll carry the fight with the second ore and, you know, back him up.
He's got such defensive items. He doesn't really output that much damage.
I thought he was going to go Deso, and then you have a Deso AC. You're just burning through these heroes, right? They melt.
Sure.
Maybe miscommunication. I don't know. I mean, it's not like AC's ever bad, you know, but a little overlap here. As G2IG will smoke and once more try and find a way to start the fight on their terms. Daedalus completed for Monet. This is the damage you need to win a team fight. You have to make it work. You have to combine it with the lockdown between the Shaker and the Lion right now. Find some big targets.
They got to get a monster initiation from Nothing to Say, and he is close to getting it.
GBK, they get the Hex.
They spot the Storm Spirit. Can they finish this up? GT's going to push them more together. Nothing to Say gets that initiation for the BKB, who's already up from Pure. Nothing to Say doesn't do enough. Monet comes in. Yeah, he kills Say, but the cores are still up on the side of BetBoom, and they're chasing down heroes now. JT, he can't really go far. Monet is being kited around during his meta. It's not looking good for G2IG right now with Save coming the buyback, and Monet's going to call it quits. Immediately BKB, TP's down. JT can't find a corner to hide in. BetBoom locked him down.
What an awkward initiation. I feel like when you find the Hex on the Storm, you have to just commit there, but he got onslaughted away and like bumped down the hill. There was another 4-staff, I think, that maybe bailed him out further, and then NTS did not feel confident enough following up that deep into the fight. And the whole time this is happening, Nightfall and GPK are just running down heroes. Also, that Echo Slam missing on Pure, I mean, that's a matter of half a second, right? Yeah. If you get the chain connect in terms of stuns on him, that fight goes very differently, but instead Pure gets to turn around all of his damage onto the Shaker and just melt him. BKB does not protect NTS in that type of situation. That is a very dominant team fight for BetBoom that'll lead into Roshan and lead into a pause. And
quick little reconnect here for Pure. 13,000 net worth lead for BetBoom. They are in a commanding position for this game, and hence the series, as they're already up 1 game in a best of 3. Watch this again. I mean, one big problem is Monet isn't necessarily close to output the damage right away off these disables anyway.
Yeah, that Force Staff, very clutch, gets GPK out of danger. Even Thalenslaw bounced him. Just very fast reaction time from BetBoom. Small things winning him this fight. And like you said, Monet, he got kind of like blocked on the fissure too. The egg was super far in the back. I think Xnova's been extremely defensive with these, probably for good reason, but sometimes it hurts you more than helps you, right? Like a lot of that fight just got drawn away from the egg in the bottom left to the top right. And
yeah,
I don't even think BetBoom knew what was going on. Like, all right, nice egg. Killed the neutral camp.
Yeah. We could see G2.iG just really not feeling on the same page when it comes to these team fights. That hasn't gotten much better for them. Maybe Boboka jumped the gun a little bit. I don't know.
It's like they're lacking the damage.
Yeah.
Or it feels just so much easier for BetBoom to kill heroes, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, when Earthshaker is shut down like this as a core, his damage starts looking pretty pitiful. I mean, he is a BKB Blink Dagger. He's not getting big hits out of his Enchant Totem like you would hope an Earthshaker to scale up to.
No, not even close. And he still has 3,000 gold in the bank. He's trying to work up towards another item, but this means NTS's effective net worth is just awful right now.
Yeah, look at that, doing the least damage on his team.
Yeah, that is not something you see often from a world-class mid laner, like nothing to say. Speaks volumes about how BetBoom shut him down in the early game and is just not giving him any freedom in the fight. They are focusing the hell out of him.
And a Fissure block kind of says everything here. G2.iG
stalling.
Just want to stall, do not want to take the team fight, but BetBoom are not going to give them a moment to breathe here. Poke at the tower, immediate jump onto the line. See if they can burst him down during this BKB, and they've got him dead to rights. No problem there. IG struggling to be able to put together a defense in response to that Lion dying. Get nothing for it.
Just no counterplay. Unless you're there with a, you know, I guess a pulverize to grab him. I don't even know how easy that is, but GPK will trade his BKB for the death of Boboka here. Go back to farming. I mean, the mana drain's annoying. Like, if you actually manage to drain some of these cores of all their mana in the fight, that could be a way to win it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, maybe you can just kite him around. Monet has a better time. You don't get some second rage off. Mangoes fly out for Nightfall here is, yeah, he's going to have to deal with it some way or another. Working towards a full Abyssal. Absolutely jacked here. Still another 0-death game for Monet. I mean, he's keeping himself in it. I'll give him that.
But how is he going to output the damage to be able to cut through these heroes? I still think that evasion is a problem. He's got Radiance, he's got these neutral items to contend with.
He just also didn't really get some sick butterfly timing like we saw last game from Nightfall, right? Like, if he goes butterfly here, is he even that happy about it? Like, what else does he go, right? He's going to have to sell something or build anyway here, so he's debating butterfly, he's debating finishing this Manta. I feel like he almost needs, like, MKB Divine or something, too, the way this game is going. Not an easy itemization position for him.
Save almost has a silver edge, so G2.iG, their supports are going to be falling really far behind when it comes to damage. It's all going to be up to the play.
His Ogre's ahead of the Shaker. So the damage is getting there, but the survivability is also getting there. There's a full pipe done for Toronto Tokyo. These Midases are just cruising them into a solid position here.
And they'll take even more net worth away from G2.iG by taking their Tormentor away from them. Get a shard for save.
Some Spell Amp, they win a fight. But honestly, if they win a fight, this game might just end, so.
I don't think you're getting too many stacks there on save. A game like this.
And Monet is opting to go for that butterfly, so just gonna hope that that's enough survivability plus damage with the attack speed to win them that next fight. It's gonna have to do some work. Age is running out in a minute 30. Definitely do not want to fight into the tail end of this.
Yeah, the problem I see there is just like, BetBoom, do they even need to worry about the Terrorblade? I feel like they just kind of kill everybody else. If he's not killing them and they're not killing him, ultimately, I feel like the 3 cores of BetBoom will just output way more damage on everybody else in the fight.
I agree. I mean, Pure's just finding way too much on the map right now. He has a full basher of his own. I mean, he's basically just building what Nightfall's building, right?
Yeah.
You build AC, I'll get an AC. You get an Abyssal, I'll get an Abyssal. And then when you die, I'll be you.
It's carry following a carry's footsteps.
Perhaps the dream here for this team. They're both just going to put themselves in a position where they can man fight any of these heroes as that team fight progresses. It's just putting more and more pressure on the initiation here. Has to be some crazy jump. You have to find a good Hex target, and you have to find a good Echo Slam.
Okay, so give me the ideal outcome of a team fight for G2.iG. You said get a Hex target. Who ideally are you jumping on that? Is it Storm?
Yeah, I mean, GPK jumps into your fountain.
Okay. And you Hex him.
His keyboard disconnects.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it has to be something centered around the Egg, the Echo, and Monet being close to those two things is what's going to set the fight up. If the fight happens around the Egg and Monet can sit there and hit people, that's a pretty good formula because then you have to choose between the Egg or trying to focus the Terrorblade, and I don't think you can focus Monet down. That's the type of situation where he will get the DPS out, and maybe you can set up for that Echo either at the start of that or towards the tail end of it if BKBs go down and you survive long enough.
Well, there's some more damage. Primal Beast having an Aghanim Scepter, if he survives long enough to get it off multiple times, that will certainly help out. Because nothing to say is, sadly, he's got an Aghanim Scepter now, but, you know, level 16, no other items besides that Ags recently picked up.
Does have a shield ring, pretty big for the fight, and they picked up 2 Stormcrafters on their 2 Bruisers, so that's also some extra damage here. See if it's enough for this next fight. Down 20k, no easy targets here, and a Hex done for GPK makes their initiations that much easier as he's infested and he's looking to go. Ward is in favor of
Okay, there's that Hex. There's an Echo Slam slowing all their damage, but the Force Staff got him away far enough. They could not finish him off. Once again, BetBoom doing everything they can to secure GPK's life, and once they've done that, the fight is easy. They're going to run down JT, no problem. 2 cores dead on the side of G2.iG will be a green light for BetBoom to head straight down the mid lane.
The infest was absolutely disgusting there from BetBoom. Nightfall, Rage pops out in Abyssal's NTS, prevents any sort of chain stun there. That is just a very smart way to set the fight up, because then even if you jump the Storm, you're guaranteed to prevent the Shaker from chain stunning it. And then that gives you time to Force Staff him out of there. Just so hard to jump anything in this game.
Yep.
I feel like you need Terror Wave as well. That could be a big item for Monet in this late game. But right now, the struggle continues as Baboka is going to get found, and...
Looks like he stopped that Siphon just the wrong time, but he gets away anyways. Links out.
Not too shabby.
Anytime you're not dying on G2.iG, let's call that a win. But teams like BetBoom, they're... just like game 1, it feels like they're playing this very methodically. I think there's a lot of other teams that would be just trying to end it, but looks like they're just going to play for another round of Roshan.
Yeah, this is not a team that's in a rush. They are happy to just close these games out on their terms. And
I think some of that is the fact that they have a shot caller who's playing 4 position instead of 5. Save wants to feel like a core too, you know? He's like, guys, let's let this go 50 minutes so I can be a carry Muerta.
Wants to pad his stats, can't blame him.
Yeah. Did you ever stat pad in your career?
Nope. It wasn't good enough. You gotta be good. You gotta be good to stat pad. You gotta be winning games comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, you won some qualifiers, won some tournaments.
We don't have to talk about those. I just don't know who you jump here. These heroes are all so damn tanky. This is a 3,600 HP Ogre with a Ghost Scepter, an Aesthetics Cap, Fire Shield on other people, 4k HP Storm with AC Aura, Pipe Aura. I mean, good luck, right? Like, you're going in with an Echo Slam to deal 600 damage or so. Just feels like a suicide mission. And it will finish up, I guess, the Manta for Monet. I mean, he's holding on to this Dragon Lance, thinking about Swift Blink. He's kind of peaking, right?
Yep.
He's kind of capped on slots. The damage is not going to get much better from here on out outside of like Divine Aegis or selling boots for another MKB or something. Not as good as it gets. You're just going to have to connect. The Ags from JT's going to have to do some work. Now, there are 3 cores on BetBoom's side that can have passes broken, and it'll be a smoke from them with another Infest. Now, remember, he can Infest out of here and Abyssal the initiation, which happened last fight. So this Infest is offensive and defensive for GPK right now. I don't think they have to force this, right? I mean, you're playing for Roshan here.
Wrapping around through the side. BetBoom gonna play around this high ground ward. G2.iG, they gonna stumble into this one. Smokes only are gonna last so much longer. They're gonna try and pick somebody off defending this creep wave that is pushing into tier 3.
They know Pure has been playing on his own the whole time. That is a great off.
They got vision of him too. Perfect opportunity, laying it up. Boboka, he makes that initiation. The follow-up is there from JT. They have the chain stuns and they get the kill. G2.iG finally put together a game plan that sets them up really nicely. I mean, they get that free kill, they're hitting the tier 3, and BetBoom are not quite sure what to do here.
Yeah, do you TP back and take the fight? Do you give up Roshan control? Roshan just spawned, by the way.
Deadshot, push him in. Save, starts putting out some damage onto Monet. He's forced to use his BKB defensively here.
You gotta get the hell out.
GPK TP's back and will not jump
after. Or not. They're going to try to retake the fight here. Bait it back out.
This is the play-to-win play, but they can't quite finish up Nightfall. The damage isn't quite there in time. No chain stuns, and now Monet's in trouble. Can he get off the Thunder? Pops Samantha. Hit by the Abyss of Blade. He can't get it off. The Supernova explosion comes half a second too late. And BetBoom, by killing the carry, have won the fight. And now they can go for that Roshan that they wanted. Looks like X-Nova will be an additional kill on their way out.
That extra status was just for Nightfall. They just do not find the chain stun on the lifestealer, and it costs them everything there. And that's why that go is so dangerous when Monet does not have BKB. It's really hard for him to engage and not get Vortex pulled, not get Ogre stun, hit by a dead shot. Like, so many random spells can mess with the Parablade's damage going into a tanky target like that when you don't have BKB. Great move to find Pure in their base. They get the buyback out of the Dawnbreaker, but ultimately that fight is a disaster. And it's just BetBoom running down the lanes. They do not want Roshan here. They want more.
Nothing to say. Does have an invis room, but GPK has a gem. So nothing to say. It's just going to be chain stun before he even get an enchant totem to run himself away. Finally a stun. A little bit of bottle. GPK runs out of mana, and nothing to say will survive for now. But the problem is survival is not winning. They're losing buildings right now.
Yeah, they opted for 2 lanes, and they will go back for Roshan. They won it here.
Full out Daedalus for Pure.
Yeah, the damage is, it's out of control right now for BetBoom. I mean, they're building the 5 cores.
This game goes late enough, we might be seeing some interesting items for this Ogre. He's at level 22, man.
Yeah, it's 5K gold. I mean, you can get that level 25 Fire Blast out and start getting them right clicks in, become a beast. Why not? So far, you've controlled a lot of this game, 24-7. G2.iG have just not found a lot of openings. And once more, they're just going to run 5 into 5, basically, because they're not going to find Pure off this move. He is bottom lane. That is the one thing that I liked about that play. You found the isolated target who was trying to globally join the fight. That's where the saves aren't going to be. But when you go into the other 4, you're giving Pure free counter initiation here. It's so damn tough.
Amp damage. They're only showing illusions right now, but it does mean BetBoom, they know you're coming.
And the last item for Monet was this blink. So this is his, like, you know, Hail Mary. I'm gonna blink in with the initiation, BKB, and try and shred somebody. And if that doesn't work, you are absolutely gonna get decimated. So this initiation for G2.iG is all in at this point.
Okay, there's that Roshan call. So G2.iG know that they're inside of the pit right now, and there is a debuff on BetBoom.
Nightfall used his Abyssal here. It's on cooldown.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Toronto Tokyo trying to stop the initiation. Roshan, half health. BetBoom.
Gonna come down to NTS and Maboka. When you jump, who you catch.
JT makes that initiation onto the lifesteal. Immediate rebuttal, but good Echo Slam. Again, lacking the chain stuns, but the Supernova is going to go off successfully on the side. Monet is struggling to be able to hit even if these heroes, though, and inside of the pit, they can still finish up this Roshan.
Doesn't know what to do.
They're able to jump back after the Ogre. They try and chase after him, but it's inside of the pit. They actually got the Aegis because they jumped out of it with the lifestealer. He went for kills instead. He went for the insane, and he does manage to get it. It looks like it doesn't matter if they have the extra life because Monet gets cut down by just Pure.
Buybacks from G2.iG. They're keeping outposts. They need to find something here.
The Bashers hits the site, everything. They don't care if you have a second life. You can take the Aegis keys, everything you want. All of those things because BetBoom have the power of just sheer money. 37K up with all of their heroes scaling well past your power.
20K net worth, says Toronto Tokyo. What is yours? Indeed, it's a good question. I'll tell you, it's less, my friend. It is less, whatever the number is right now. He knows that their greed has paid off in this game. G2.iG were not able to punish it or find any openings. And damn, BetBoom just economic their way to a swift 2-0 here as G2.iG are eliminated from the tournament in quiet fashion, right? 7 kills in a 50-minute game. That tells you everything you need to know about the dynamic of this series. Just stifled.
Yeah. BetBoom.